Hey up guys, Burnt Out Culture here. I just thought I'd try this new little mini side project, if you want to call it that. It's going to run alongside my usual game pickups, gameplay videos, out and about tours, that sort of thing. It's just a little novelty thing that I just thought I'd sort of give a try to, because it's something that really does interest me, something going in the background of my mind for a few weeks. So I just thought, I'll just give it a bash. It's not going to be for everyone's cup of tea because it's emulation based, but hopefully it'll please some folk. And it is what the title suggests. So what it is essentially is games that I remember in the arcade, games that nostalgic for me in the arcade, and played back in the day. And we'll do some other ones as well, whereby that even if they're not very well played by me, certainly well known as arcade games. And what it is it's how the Spectrum conversions, the Spectrum ports held up to the arcade, and a little bit of discussion on how we think any particular developer at the time or coder at the time managed to be able to put that on the Spectrum. In some instances, it must have been a tremendous feat to be able to attempt to put an arcade version and convert it to a Spectrum anyway. I mean, God knows how they did it. A lot of them turned out far better than others. Others were complete, virtually unplayable. But others were, really sort of held their own. And even to this day, I'm sure some of the guys that did the coding, should be proud of what they managed to achieve on the humble little Spectrum. So that how I've come up with these games, in no particular order, completely at random. I'm just sort of plucking them out of obscurity and sort of go along with that and just see how it goes. So the first game we're going to do is this one. So this is it's 1943, the Battle of Midway. So this is the American version of the arcade cabinet. They did a few versions, I believe, of this, but this is the American one. Beautiful cabinet. This picture here is obviously in someone's home in America. But for those that don't know, so the 1943, the Battle of Midway was a factual battle that happened in the Midway Atoll, which is roughly halfway point between Asia and North America. So the US forces fought ferocious air battles with the Japanese. Terrible battle. But hey ho, it makes for a good arcade game, I suppose. So what we'll do is now we're gonna jump to the arcade game itself, and I'll, as usual, bear in mind my atrocious lack of skill. I'll do what I can. I'm not in a very ideal position here, sat here. It's a bit tricky, but we'll cut to the game and we'll just have a little look. We'll play through the arcade, and then we'll go to the Spectrum version and see how that held up. So we'll put some credits in the old arcade. Let's pan that back out. It's a bit near now, isn't it? Just about see it there. And then some credits in. And now let's see how we go. Quite a difficult arcade game, this, I must admit. I'll do my best on it. I remember playing this when I was at school. Really, really good game. Quite a lot of power-ups, which helps, but it's still, nevertheless, very tricky. Never got too far on it. The good thing is, obviously, with the main emulation, you can just keep continuing, if you wanted to. So, get them power-ups, you see, you don't always get a better weapon, which is better off with that, in my experience. Always better off with the three-way, the 3-4-way shooter as opposed to these single things. You need to spread that shot field like that. So I'll try to get the energy power-ups if you can. Always help. Love that for the theme tune, very iconic theme tune that. Do and continue. Won't make it too long. So, for those that also don't know how this differed to this is a sequel to the 1942 similar arcade game, whereby it was almost, it's like essentially a simpler version of this, but where this changed, I think one of the main differences was you actually had an energy bar as opposed to getting destroyed in the first hit, which I thought was quite a big improvement, to be fair. Don't get me wrong, I mean, even 1942 was good, but this, I think this, was certainly definitely an improvement on it. God, it's so tricky. Not sure how many hits you can actually take. So that alarm that you can hear there is letting you know that you're at low energy. Probably means one more hit and you're gone. Yep. Right, so what we'll do is now you've seen a bit of the arcade game. I'm sure you're familiar with it anyway, but I'll jump cut to the sort of specky side of things now, and we'll just do a basic comparison, and we'll discuss how we think this did they manage to do a half decent conversion that they can be proud of, or what it quite poor. So I'll just cut through, just let me so on to Spectrum's version of this. So we're just looking at Capcom's version of the cover there, the cassette box cover. Loads of different sort of versions of this actually. They're actually published by Herb Software, obviously developed by Capcom and released in 1988 this. So yeah, it's still like I said, vertical scrolling shooter. Updates to the gameplay included the energy bar, which can be run down either by hit from incoming fire or using a special weapon. The energy bar can be replenished, picking up power-ups, while special weapons, lightning, cyclones and waves can knock down all the fighters at once on the screen. So that's good. Obviously we've got a very small screen space, unfortunately, but we'll give it a bash. For me, the main issue with this was, initially when I first played it, I found it absolutely balls horrifically difficult and couldn't get anywhere. But I persevered with it. And you know what? It's not a bad little game. The main problem, main issue, like I say, for me is not so much colour clash, but because the enemy fire is the same colour, it's very, very tricky, difficult to see what's going on. There is some slowdown as well, I've noticed, when a certain number of sprites on screen, so that's a bit of a negative as well. But what we'll do is we'll give it a bash. So 5 play. Right, here we go, guys. Let's see how we go. Probably, you know, gaming sod's law, I'll do shite. What I found with this version compared to the arcade and all, you literally got a sweep across the screen, or you know, you just get crucified by enemy fire. See what I mean with the enemy fire? Tricky to see on that blue-white background as well. I mean, obviously limited for colour, aren't they? But I don't know, maybe they could have done something a little bit better. But nevertheless, moves around, controls really well. Much easier with this diagonal three-way. Much easier, you can wipe a lot of enemies out better with this. Sound effects minimal. Sort of not much in way of sound effects going on. No in-game music or anything like that. But it's all about the gameplay, isn't it? Then, you know, it's what it's all about. Replicating that, you know, that shooting, ferocious shooting in the arcade. Oh, real button masher, this. Proper old school arcade. Great stuff. I suppose quite in their own way, quite detailed sprites, and that, you know, as the aircraft explode, you've got that little bit of animation now, which is good. Let's say 1980s. Too bad. Oh, got me. Cleared the first wave. Yeah, I mean, what do you think? I mean, for me, it's not too bad. It's all, let's face it, it's always going to look horrific, isn't it, when you've just witnessed, you know, the actual arcade version. So we've got to keep it in context. You know, we're talking about a 30-odd-year-old game here. And for me, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's enjoyable. Got to try and get them energy, you know, the power-ups, try to get the energy if you keep an eye on your energy bar. It's like I say, in the 1942 version, fairly sure it was just, in the original game, it was one hit, game over, you know, that was it. So, much better having the energy bar. It'd be nice if they'd have possibly changed the colour for the terrain or the sea. You know, just added a little bit of colour on the scenery, and you know, just mixed it up a little bit rather than keeping it this blue and white. Maybe it does towards the latter stages of the game, but I haven't got that far, but I doubt it. I doubt it would. I think it were all this colour, excuse me. You'll see, like now, seeing how tricky it is to see them projectiles or bullets from the enemies. It's really hard. These are buggers and all that coming from behind. Oh! Oh! Oh, get my ass kicked. Buggers. Not like a little three-way. Oh, see, slow down now. A bit slow down. Unless that's a glitch in the emulation. I suspect it is genuine slow down though. That. I'll just try and get past the. There is technically a boss, first level boss. I'll try and get to. We'll call it a do there. If you do like these videos as well, if you think it's good to do, if you've got any requests that you know you'd like to just see the comparison, arcade comparison to Spectrum, just let us know, and I'll. I mean, there's literally thousands of games on these emulators, so I'm sure you know pretty much all of them will be there in some form or another on both. So yeah, just let us know. Destroy that. You've got to take the 4 engines out. So yeah, we'll call it there. You don't need to play on and on. You get the general idea. So sort of a overall review for me. All things considered, a good solid port for me from the Capcom Classic. I guess they've done the best with the hardware, or the lack of it, that they had at the time, and you know the end result was still had that frenetic pace from the arcade. It's arcade Big Brother, and it didn't lose any for me. I mean, you put yourself in the place of a 12, 13-year-old playing it in his bedroom at the time, back in the 80s. It must, it'll have been amazing. If I'm enjoying it now, in fact, I would probably have even had this. I'll have had this and played it back then. I just don't remember that many Speccy games at the time. I don't remember each one individually, but I'll have played it. But playing it now with a genuine comparison, it's still very enjoyable. Right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you managed to get a little bit of enjoyment out of this and see what you think. And like I say, if you do have any suggestions to compare, I'm going to go through my favourite arcade games, and I know there is some real stinkers actually in there for Spectrum conversions, some real stinkers. But we'll go through some anyway. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching as usual. Please like, or even better subscribe if it's your cup of tea. Take it easy. Bye.